The secret chamber beneath the Oval Office contained files that previous presidents never wanted anyone to find, until Eisenhower opened them all. White House, Washington, D.C., February 12, 1953, 11:30 p.m. President Dwight D. Eisenhower walks alone through the dimly lit corridors of the executive mansion, unable to sleep despite exhaustion from his first month in office. The weight of the presidency sits heavier than he anticipated. Every decision ripples through millions of lives. Every mistake could alter the course of history. Tonight something else keeps him awake, the growing suspicion that his predecessors left him incomplete information about threats facing the nation. The White House feels different at night. During the day, it bustles with staff, visitors, the constant energy of governing, but after midnight, the building reveals its age-creaking floorboards, settling walls, the whispered secrets of 2 centuries. Eisenhower, dressed in a simple bathrobe and slippers, carries a flashlight as he explores rooms he hasn't yet had time to thoroughly examine. His restlessness isn't mere presidential insomnia. For 3 weeks, Eisenhower has discovered gaps in the intelligence briefings, references to operations that aren't fully explained, allusions to events that seem to have no supporting documentation. When he asks his staff about these inconsistencies, they provide vague answers about previous administration protocols and classification levels above normal security clearance. Something is being hidden from him, something important enough that even becoming President of the United States doesn't automatically grant access. Tonight's exploration began in the Lincoln bedroom, where he hoped the historical atmosphere might help him sleep. Instead, he found himself studying the architectural details of the White House more carefully than ever before. The building has been renovated, expanded, and modified so many times that its original blueprint bears little resemblance to its current layout. Secret passages, hidden stairs, forgotten rooms, all documented in historical records. But how many remain undocumented? Eisenhower's military background trained him to think systematically about fortifications and secure facilities. The White House is both a residence and a fortress, designed to protect its occupant while maintaining the appearance of democratic accessibility. But fortresses have secure storage areas, places where the most sensitive materials are kept safe from discovery. He descends to the basement level, where the foundation reveals the building's oldest bones. Stone walls from the early 1800s, thick and solid, designed to support the structure above while providing secure storage below. His flashlight beam plays across walls that have witnessed 2 centuries of American secrets. That's when he notices something that doesn't belong: a section of wall in the sub-basement where the mortar between stones appears different. The work is professional, nearly invisible, but Eisenhower's engineer's eye catches the subtle inconsistency. This is exactly when everything changed. Because what Eisenhower discovered behind that wall would transform his understanding of the presidency forever. He runs his fingers along the mortar, feeling for loose stones or hidden mechanisms. Behind the 3rd stone from the corner, his fingers find a small metal lever, corroded with age, but still functional. When he presses it, a section of the wall swings inward on hidden hinges, revealing a narrow corridor that extends into darkness. The air that escapes from the hidden passage is stale, thick with decades of confinement. Eisenhower's flashlight penetrates the gloom, revealing stone steps descending deeper into the earth than the White House's official basement extends. This isn't just a hidden room, it's a secret level of the building that appears on no architectural plan. He hesitates at the threshold. Whatever lies beyond this hidden entrance was concealed deliberately, meant to remain undiscovered. Previous presidents knew about this space and chose to keep it secret, even from their successors. But Eisenhower's military training tells him that commanders need complete intelligence to make informed decisions, and incomplete information gets people killed. The stone steps are worn smooth by years of use, but they're sturdy. As he descends, the walls transition from the White House's familiar architecture to something older, more primitive. These passages predate the current building, perhaps extending back to the original structure destroyed in the War of 1812. After 30 steps, the passage opens into a circular chamber carved directly from bedrock. The room is larger than expected, perhaps 20 feet in diameter, with a vaulted ceiling that disappears into shadow above his flashlight's reach. Along the curved walls, metal filing cabinets stand in perfect rows, their surfaces dulled by time, but their locks still secure. You haven't seen the real shock yet, because each filing cabinet bears a presidential seal and dates spanning from 1885 to 1952. The earliest cabinet is marked CA 1885 to 1889 inches, Chester A. Arthur. Next to it, GC Pointes 1889 inches, Grover Cleveland's first term. The progression continues chronologically through every presidency up to Harry Truman's administration, which ended just 3 weeks ago. Every president for the past 70 years has maintained files in this hidden chamber. The files important enough to hide from Congress, from the press, from history itself. Files so sensitive that they couldn't be trusted to normal government archives or standard security protocols. Eisenhower approaches Truman's cabinet first 1945 to 1953. The lock is newer than the others, suggesting recent use. When he tries the handle, it opens easily. Truman left it unlocked, as if knowing his successor would eventually find this place. Inside, manila folders organized with Truman's characteristic precision, each folder bears a label written in Truman's own handwriting: Roswell 1947, Operation Paperclip Doing Stalin Health Reports 1949 to 1953, Assassination Attempts, Classified, UFO Encounters, Military Personnel. Wait a minute, don't miss this crucial discovery. The Roswell 1947 inches file contains photographs, witness statements, and technical analysis reports that completely contradict the official weather balloon explanation. The photographs show metallic debris with symbols that don't match any known aircraft technology. Witness statements from military personnel describe materials with properties that 1947 science cannot explain: metal that remembers its shape, components that generate their own energy, alloys that don't appear in any periodic table. But most shocking are the medical examination reports. Detailed descriptions of biological specimens recovered from the crash site. Specimens that are definitely not human, but also not consistent with any known terrestrial life forms. The medical files include sketches, measurements, and analysis reports signed by military doctors who swore oaths of secrecy. Eisenhower's hands shake as he reads testimony from Major Jesse Marcel, the intelligence officer who first examined the Roswell wreckage. This material represents technology at least 100 years ahead of current human capabilities. The implications for national defense are enormous. We are not alone, and we are not the most advanced intelligence in the universe. The Operation Paperclip ongoing file reveals the full extent of Nazi scientist recruitment that goes far beyond what Eisenhower was briefed about. Not just rocket scientists like Werner von Braun, but experts in biological warfare, mind control experiments, and advanced physics research that borders on the impossible. Dr. Kurt Blome, Nazi biological warfare specialist, recruited to develop defensive measures against Soviet biological weapons. Dr. Hubertus Strughold, aviation medicine researcher whose experiments on human subjects at Dachau contributed to American high-altitude flight programs. The moral compromises run deeper than any official acknowledgement. You won't believe what the Stalin health reports revealed, because they show that America has been monitoring Soviet leadership health through inside sources since 1949. The medical intelligence on Stalin includes detailed reports on his stroke symptoms, heart conditions, and mental deterioration. The sources are identified only by code names, but the level of detail suggests access to Stalin's personal physicians or immediate family members. America has been tracking Stalin's declining health for years, preparing for succession scenarios and potential power struggles within Soviet leadership. One report from 1951 includes this chilling assessment: subject exhibits increasing paranoia and erratic decision-making consistent with advanced cerebral arteriosclerosis. Mental competency questionable for nuclear warfare decisions. Succession crisis inevitable within 24 months. The assassination attempts classified file contains documentation of threats against American presidents that were never disclosed publicly. Detailed Secret Service reports of plots, near misses, and security breaches that could have changed history. A 1950 attempt on Truman's life by Soviet agents posing as White House maintenance workers, discovered only because one assassin accidentally triggered a security alarm. The would-be killers were captured, interrogated, and their mission revealed a direct order from Moscow to eliminate the American president during the Korean War. But the most disturbing discovery comes in the UFO Encounters military personnel file. What you've seen so far was just the beginning. Because this file contains testimony from military pilots, radar operators, and base commanders describing encounters with aircraft displaying impossible flight characteristics. Lieutenant Colonel Charles Halt's report from RAF Bentwaters in England, December 1951, observed triangular aircraft hovering silently above nuclear weapons storage area. Object demonstrated instantaneous acceleration and right-angle directional changes inconsistent with known physics. Duration of observation, 47 minutes. No conventional explanation possible. Captain Edward Rappelt's analysis from Project Blue Book. Over 700 military personnel have reported encounters with unidentified aircraft displaying technology superior to current American or Soviet capabilities. Pattern suggests systematic surveillance of military installations, particularly nuclear facilities. The implications terrify Eisenhower more than Soviet nuclear threats. If these reports are accurate, America faces potential adversaries with technology decades ahead of human development. Adversaries who show particular interest in nuclear weapons and military installations. Eisenhower moves to Franklin Roosevelt's cabinet, marked FDR 1933 to 1945. The files inside reveal wartime secrets that explain some of Roosevelt's most controversial decisions. The Manhattan Project Inaugurative Research Folder documents parallel atomic research programs that explored applications beyond weapons development, experiments in atomic-powered aircraft, nuclear medicine, and energy generation that were deemed too dangerous or too advanced for wartime implementation. A 1943 memo from Robert Oppenheimer, Alternative Applications of Atomic Fission, could revolutionize transportation, medicine, and industrial production within 20 years. However, current wartime priorities require exclusive focus on weapons development. Recommend continued research under maximum security classification. The Holocaust Intelligence, 1,942 inches, file contains reports that definitively prove Roosevelt's administration knew about Nazi extermination camps 2 years before public acknowledgement. Detailed intelligence from resistance networks, aerial reconnaissance photographs of camp facilities, and estimated casualty reports that accurately predicted the Holocaust's scope. Just when everything seemed overwhelming, Eisenhower discovered something that changed his entire perspective on presidential responsibility. At the back of Roosevelt's cabinet, a manila envelope marked for future presidents, personal. Inside, a handwritten letter from Roosevelt addressed to my unknown successor. Roosevelt's letter reads, "To the president who discovers this chamber, you now understand why some secrets must be kept, not from cowardice or political convenience, but because the American people deserve to sleep peacefully at night. They elect us to carry burdens they cannot imagine, to make decisions they should never have to contemplate. The files in this room represent the true cost of protecting democracy, the knowledge that keeps leaders awake while citizens dream safely. Use this information wisely. Add your own secrets when the time comes. And remember, the greatest presidential courage is knowing when truth serves the people and when truth would destroy them." Eisenhower spends the next 4 hours reading files from every presidential cabinet. Each administration faced threats and challenges that never became public knowledge. Each president made decisions based on information too sensitive for democratic debate, too dangerous for political opposition. The pattern becomes clear. American democracy survives not just because of what citizens know, but because of what they don't know. Presidential leadership requires carrying secrets that would terrify the public, making decisions based on intelligence that can never be shared, accepting responsibility for actions that can never be acknowledged. When Eisenhower finally emerges from the hidden chamber at dawn, he understands his presidency differently. He's not just managing current crises, he's part of a continuous chain of leaders who protect American democracy by sheltering it from truths too terrible for public consumption. This time, the real revelation came in what he decided to do next. Instead of sealing the chamber and pretending he never found it, Eisenhower makes a decision that breaks with 70 years of presidential tradition. He creates his own file cabinet, marked DDE Toms 1953 to 1961, but with one crucial difference. Unlike his predecessors, Eisenhower begins documenting not just secrets, but also his decision-making process about which secrets to keep and which to eventually reveal. His first entry reads, "The burden of presidential secrecy must be balanced against democratic accountability. Future presidents should understand not just what was hidden, but why it was hidden and when that rationale expires. Some secrets protect the people. Others protect only the government. The difference matters." Over his 8-year presidency, Eisenhower uses the hidden chamber as intended test to store intelligence too sensitive for normal classification protocols. But he also begins the slow process of moving older secrets toward eventual declassification, determining which historical truths can finally be shared without compromising national security. The UFO files remain classified, judged too destabilizing for public knowledge. The assassination attempt records stay hidden to prevent copycat attacks. But some Nazi collaboration details begin appearing in carefully edited historical accounts, allowing the public to gradually understand the moral complexities of wartime decision-making. Most importantly, Eisenhower establishes a protocol for presidential succession that ensures future presidents will discover the hidden chamber during their first month in office, rather than by accident. The burden of ultimate secrets should be shared consciously, not stumbled upon in moments of sleepless exploration. When Eisenhower leaves office in January 1961, his final entry in the secret files reads, "President Kennedy." This chamber exists because democracy requires leaders willing to carry impossible knowledge. Use these secrets to protect the people, not to control them. The difference between presidential leadership and presidential tyranny lies in that distinction. That's how presidential secrecy evolved from hidden burden to conscious responsibility. Not through congressional oversight or public demand, but through one man's midnight discovery of the hidden price of democratic leadership. The secret chamber beneath the White House still exists. Every president since Eisenhower has added their files, following his protocol of documenting not just secrets, but the reasoning behind secrecy. The hidden archive continues to grow, a repository of democratic truths too dangerous for immediate disclosure, but too important for permanent concealment. So when you wonder what presidents really know, what intelligence guides their decisions, what threats keep them awake at night, remember that democratic leadership requires carrying knowledge too heavy for public shoulders, because sometimes the greatest presidential service is not the decisions they make in public, but the secrets they bear in private to keep democracy safe from truths it cannot yet handle. Eisenhower understood this. That's why his discovery of the White House's hidden chamber didn't just change his presidency. It transformed how American presidents balance transparency with security, truth with stability, democratic ideals with democratic survival. The chamber remains hidden. The secrets remain classified. But the wisdom Eisenhower gained from that midnight discovery continues to guide presidential decision-making 70 years later. And until now, almost no one knew that the most important room in the White House is the one that officially doesn't exist, or how one president's insomnia led to the discovery that changed how America's deepest secrets are kept and shared.